Hey guys, Dan Heilman back with another Eternal Evolution video. Today we're talking about prototypes. Here's where you get them, Terradome. I'll show you the run. I have 13 down. I think it's roughly 100%. We're going to go use it right now. I'm going to get a bunch of them for the video. I'll show you how they level up, and I'll go through some of them. I'll go through some of the combinations you can use with different prototypes together that make them really good. I'll show you this boss fight because I have a new team that works very well for it. Taylor, if you don't know, you can just hop him in the circle. I'm sure everyone knows it at this point, so just leave Taylor on manual. This is the team I'm using. Before, I used to have Artist try to tank, and he was... Oh, I shouldn't have jumped him over there because the boss is going to AoE over there, isn't he? I should not have put him over by the other team. That was not a good plan. Hopefully, if my Taylor dies, then the run ends. Oh god, use it. Okay, so now I can hop out of there. We'll hop him over to that side, dodge that. All right, cool. We'll get this down real quick. Taylor's gonna do some great damage. Obviously, Bailey's a god in here, but he's very hard to get. Yeah, okay. So we're gonna get to this phase. We'll get knocked over here. Taylor, I will hop him back into the middle, kind of, and we'll get this done real quick. And then we're going to go through prototypes. There's a lot to know about prototypes. Basically, yellow prototypes are the best. I will talk about red prototypes. Red prototypes are obviously the best. Yellow are going to be the best for most people because red prototypes are very hard to get, I guess was my point. So I'll show you how to get red prototypes. We have an event open actually right now for it. You either got to be really lucky or you got to spend a little bit of money on the red prototypes. There is a Twilight something or other that opens up later. Okay, here we go. So I got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. I got 11 prototypes with 10 stamina. I got some tickets. I got actually, I think, a new one. Oh no, I have that one. Okay, so we'll show you everything about them. Let's talk about it. I'll show you some cool combinations. I obviously cannot go through every combination of prototypes, and there's so many different teams. There's so many different prototypes. There's just so much in here. I'll just do my best to cover and talk about some cool things, and I'll let you guys theory craft some other really cool stuff. Okay, so first of all is when you collect certain prototypes and level them up, you get kind of like these little bonuses that you activate, and I think this just works everywhere. You can see this gives me a little bit of defense, a little bit of attack. I guess if we show right here, it's also very important to notice that all heroes in the party will receive the stats, not just the heroes it works on. So like a defender prototype will give stats to the whole team, not just the defender, okay? After upgrading, you can upgrade the corresponding skills. Once the divine prototype is activated, you can improve the corresponding stats for all heroes. Okay, good. So it does work on all heroes, as I mentioned before. There's 3 types. You got Dominator, which is basically for DPS. You got Tenacity, which is basically for tanks. And you got Enlightenment, which is basically for supports. You can see I don't have a lot in here. But when you get duplicates, basically what happens is you just hit this advanced thing, and that's that. After you have excess, I think they kind of just hang out in your bag there for a bit. I don't think there's a use for them yet. I don't think there's any way to sell them or do anything like that. But you can see this one I had 2. So boom, I had it twice. You can see the stats now can go all the way up to level 60. And it also shows you the skill that goes up. You can see the actual skill of this will go up from 5 to 6 when you go from 49 to 60. You can see that here. So these numbers will most likely go up to gain that, okay? Now, I will show you how to get red prototypes. Red prototypes are the best in the game right now. Eventually, this Twilight Lands will open, and I think there's some good prototypes in here. You can see there's a red prototype right here. I've been playing the game for a month, and the Twilight Lands has not opened. I don't know when this thing is ever going to open, but it is very, very end-game content. I think what happened is I created my free-to-play account, and I was too low level to unlock it, so I missed the very first window, and then I think it comes once a month? I don't know. That's a guess. Not sure. Don't quote me on that. Twilight Lands will be one way to get red prototypes. Now, the other way to get red prototypes is this Quantum Mimic Machine. So right now, this one, 5th Element, is going to be good for people like Emma. Basically, when you accumulate 3 basic attacks, you boost 50 points in attack speed. That's attack speed, not like cast speed or cooldown, just normal attack speed. And you get some other stuff, okay? That's one way to get these The problem is they're very hard to get. So if I go here, you can see probability 0.02% chance to get it. And if it comes into this side, you need to spend $5 to purchase it. If you do get a red prototype on the right-hand side, I would definitely go grab this, okay? $5. It sucks, like, for my free-to-play account. If I get one on that side, I can't do it because then I won't be a free-to-play anymore, and I don't want to break that rule. I'll show you actually on my free-to-play account because I have a different one on my free-to-play account. Now, this event comes back, I think, every, like, 2 weeks maybe, and there's multiple prototypes that can be in here, as well as Triple S heroes. You know, this one has Ravenna, and this one has this Solar Flare, which is basically when you cast an ultimate that has 3 or more enemies, increases their attack. If it hits 5 or more, then the damage is increased. So this is for AoE heroes. This one is probably not as good as the other one, because the other one can be used on Emma, who's really good. So this is one way to get red prototypes in the game, okay? Now, let me, do I have more prototypes on? Actually, I have more prototypes on this account, so I guess I'll talk about it on this account. This one, I think I just happened to get from the last Quantum Device event. It's kind of a useless one, I think. When a normal attack from a hunter hero deals damage to 2 or more enemies, normal attacks can't normally damage more than 1 enemy. So I think there's like 2 heroes in the game that their normal attacks hit multiple enemies, and it's the only one that it works with. I wish I got one of the better ones, but okay. So in Dominator, let's talk about which ones are the best in here. This Dark Summit one is really good. Basically, when an allied assassin or hunter, so that's like Taylor and Emma, whenever they inflict a critical attack, they shall have a 30% to inflict bonus damage that equals 2% of max HP and 270% of user's attack. I think some people even say if you can somehow work in some crit rate into Emma without losing attack, you don't want to lose the attack, then you could use something like this that would give them a bonus. There's also another one that I think when you crit, they get increased attack. Yeah, here we go. This one as well. Prying Eyes. So this is another one that you could really use on Emma if you have a small amount of attack. I mean crit. Again, don't prioritize crit on Emma ever, unless you're trying to use something like this, and only get a little small percentage, and only if you don't lose a lot of attack by doing it, okay? So this one's kind of cool. Just get that attack bonus whenever you trigger a crit with the basic. That one's gonna be pretty useful. Pain Rune's gonna be really good for anyone who has shields. So if you're using the Commander Gautier, I've showed this combination before, but you can use Gautier the Commander, which generates shields for you when you use a jump attack. Then you use this, that whenever a shield is broken, it explodes, does AoE damage, and stuns. And then you can also use the combination with Flashpoint, where whenever you overheal, you gain a shield on that person. So there's a lot of really cool combinations that you can mess around with in here. Let me just finish Dominator real quick, just talk about some of these ones. Pain Rune, I talked about that. This one, I talked about that one. I'm not super familiar with all these, but I just wanted to give you what I know right now about prototypes, at least how to get the red ones and stuff. I have heard that there's also... I'm sorry, I get sidetracked a lot. I've made a lot of videos. My mind is kind of mushy right now, so I get sidetracked a lot. But people have told me that sometimes there's prototypes, red prototypes, purchasing in the shop, maybe? They said you can get them with US dollars. It's like a $100 pack or something. I don't think I've seen one yet with a red prototype. I don't think I've seen one. Value, monthly. I don't think I've ever seen a red prototype in here. I have seen this pack. And if you don't have like the Pain Rune or those ones I was just talking about and you really want to try it, you can grab this one for 30 bucks, okay? You know, spend if you want to. Doesn't matter to me. But okay, let's go back through here. So there's a lot of other little blue ones that I've been using for a while. Not that one. There's one that has crit rate. Yeah, this one is decent. Gives the crit rate of all allied energy, assassin, and vanguard heroes normal attacks by 18%. This one's kind of cool. I've been using this one as a decent blue one, but that's most of the attacker ones I use. I'm usually focusing on either Dark Summit, Pain Rune, or Prying Eyes. I'm usually majority using these two right here, okay? If I'm using Gautier and I'm using Bailey and if I'm using Crete, who also has a jump and a shield and all that stuff, I'll use this one. If I'm not using any of those people, I'll just use this one for like Taylor, for example. And again, you can use the Prying Eyes one as well if you do have a tiny bit of crit on your Emma. I keep on hitting back too many times. Okay, Tenacity. I don't find many useful in here, not gonna lie. There is not a pain rune. On my tier list, whatever the name of that one rune is, hold on, I gotta look it up. I'm sorry. Prism Amulet. If you noticed on the tier list that I've gone through a million times, the Prism Amulet is listed next to Artis and Guan Yu. This is a red prototype, meaning it's very hard to get. It will either cost $100 in a pack, apparently, or you'll get it in Twilight Lands, or you'll get it in that, whatever this event is called, Quantum Mimic Machine. It could possibly show up in there. I think that's basically your 3 methods for getting red prototypes, okay? Back to Tenacity. This one's really good on someone like Oak. If you're using Oak and you're building him all max HP, because that's how you build Oak, all max HP, HP percent. This one's very useful. Basically, when he uses a normal attack, he gets a small heal and inflicts bonus damage equal to his max HP. So if you have a lot of HP, that one's going to be really good. Otherwise, I just use whatever one has the highest stats, right? The highest level, highest stats. Because again, this goes for your entire team, not just tanks for Tenacity, okay? Enlightenment. Let's talk about these a little bit. For purple and blue ones, I don't like really any of these. Actually, this one's not bad. In the very beginning, I was using this one a lot when an ally cast an energy skill. Energy skill is the ultimate, if you don't know what that means. Energy skill is the ultimate. When they cast an ultimate, they recover 10% HP. I used that one for a while. And then when I got this one, Coronate, I was using this for a while because it just increases the HP by everyone, especially if the person is below 30%. They get even more healing. So that one's really cool. But then since I've been using the Pain Rune, I've been using Flashpoint mostly because this just, any excess healing goes into a shield. So then you got so many shields, and every time the shields expire, they deal AoE damage and stun and stuff like that. So that's a really cool combo. I've been using that one for a while. Applies a debuff. See, just debuffs. I don't know, 0.5 seconds extra on a debuff. Don't know that that's going to be that useful. And this one is this is a PvP one because it says crit damage. You only get crit in PvP. So that one's like a PvP one, I guess. The resistance, again, that's a PvP stat. I don't know that you're really going to be building resistance in PvE. Yeah, I think that's pretty much it as far as prototypes are concerned. Again, I do not have experience with every single prototype in the game, so I just wanted to bring you some sort of information on prototypes, at least tell you how to get the red ones, because I do get that question a lot. How do I get Prism Amulet? How do I get Prism Amulet? Dan, how do I get Prism Amulet? Because the tier list I keep showing says, oh, you can use Artis, but only if you have Prism Amulet. Oh, you can use Guan Yu, but only if you have the Prism Amulet. So, yeah. That's how you do everything. That's everything I know about prototypes so far. I told you some of the combinations I use, some of my favorite, how to get them, all of that good information. I hope you guys enjoyed it. If you did, hit the sub and like. That's going to be it for the video today. Just wanted to give you all the knowledge I currently have on prototypes. Again, there's a lot more people knowledgeable than me, but that's what I know so far. So, okay. Hope you enjoyed the video, guys. Have a great day, everyone. See you guys.